Joined by Bryan Hayes here in studio, and a man who knows a thing or two about coaching, Bruce Boudreau, joins as well. Bruce, another night, another viral tirade by John Tortorella. Just a week after he apologized for the way he handled a post-game media conference, Tortorella blasts his own team. You're not a fan of what he did. What in particular bothered you most about what he had to say?
Well, I mean, I think you can only go to the well so often and blame your team and for being soft and you know, that some guys that just can't play the right way type thing. And to me, like, the thing that threw me over the top yesterday was when I watched Philly score the third goal and watched how excited the players on the bench were, how excited the guys on the team were, and you're thinking, oh man, we're coming back, we're doing this. And then to hear the post-game comments about, yeah, we only had one guy going, and the only reason he said that for the goalie because it was his first day there, and everybody else wasn't up to par, and they were soft. I mean, after a while, players, you know, I mean, you can do it once, and it has the effect. Maybe you can do it twice, but I mean, when you keep doing it after every game these days, it's got to lose its effect. And if I'm a player, and I was a player for 17 years, I mean, that would start to bother me.
But, Bruce, it's not just how often he's saying, it's the things that he's saying. He didn't just say to his guys they didn't play well. At one point, Tortorella said, and I'm quoting now, certain guys just don't have it in them. That's unbelievable. When you throw something, it's one thing to say there's a lack of effort. It's nothing entirely to say these guys can't do it.
Yeah, it's exhausting. I'm exhausted, and I don't have to play for this guy. I can only imagine what it's like to play for John Tortorella, because you just said it. That would have been a very positive night, clearly, if they win it in overtime. But as Bruce just said, Gino, they scored with 10 seconds left. Yeah. That's Morgan Frost, a young guy trying to make his bones in the NHL. That's a really big moment. This team has been punching above their weight class all year. This should be a positive story, but it's negative all because of John Tortorella. It's always someone else's fault. It's the captain's fault. It's the goaltender's fault. It's the media's fault. The team's too soft. They don't have it in them. It's never John Tortorella's fault. And the fact that he continues to go back to the well, and he's been doing it for 20 years. He's got one pitch. He's Mariano Rivera. That's what he is. He throws the cutter every single time, Gino. This is a great story, and it's confusing,
then guys start sitting on and go, forget it.
Exactly, and it's confusing because they all came into the season, Danny Briere, Keith Jones, John Tortorella, acknowledging this could be a really tough year. It's about building blocks, and all I hear and all I see is John Tortorella knocking them down. And I don't understand how this is going to work long term. I didn't like his comments last night, like you just said. Those are completely crossing the line. And again, they're still in a playoff spot. This isn't the worst team in the league. This is a really positive story. And John Tortorella, like he's been doing for 20 years, it's about John Tortorella. It's not about the Flyers.
Coaching's never easy. Bruce, you coached for years. How did you decide when it was time to send a message to a player publicly? And how did you find the players responded for you when you actually said these things in public and not just in the room?
Well, I mean, that's where you have the feel for the team. And I know the coach knows the players better than anybody else. And, I mean, when it comes to accountability, you can do it. And when you do it, it's for effect to get playing better. I've had to do it. I know I did it with Devin Dubnyk as a goaltender. I know I've done it with other players. You know, but, I mean, you don't do it over and over and over again, because then they go, here we go again. I mean, I remember you're probably old enough, you know, to remember that Orville Tessier did it to the Chicago Blackhawks in the mid-'80s when he said you had no heart. They had no heart, and then he was gone, and the players just lost all respect for him right away. So, I mean, you really got to – it's got to be, when you're calling a player out, it can't be from an emotional basis. It's got to be that, I mean, okay, this is tactical. I'm going to get this guy going, and I'm going to get the team going. But, I mean, this is like 3 times in less than 2 weeks. And I think if I was a player, I'd be just going, like I said, come on, what else can you tell me? First of all, I got no heart, then I don't have it in me. And, like, there's players that probably have it in them. I know they have it in them that are saying, was he talking about me? So, I mean, that kind of stuff, I mean, I hope he knows what he's doing, because it's an all or nothing thing that he's doing right now, I think.
Yeah, they've been working hard for him all year. And Tortorella's on top of them. Let's not forget, there were sellers at the deadline, too, right? The front office did not throw a bone to the players in that room. And if they make the playoffs, you know who's going to take all the credit? John Tortorella.
because he inspired them with his words. By the way, MoneyPuck.com takes everything into account. They now give the Flyers a 63% chance of making the playoffs. If they don't make the playoffs, I'm sure we're going to be hearing lots more from John Tortorella.